God, Ottawa, are you stupid or are you stupid? Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those episodes where Austria basically just have to just stand back and just watch you let rip. I mean, we're going there. We're going there. We're going there. Okay, we're going there. Yeah. We're going there. Yeah. We're going there. We're going there. Yeah. We're going there. As you guys know by now, our City Council approved Landsdowne 2.0, which means that dinky arena, that's just the start, that dinky arena is now going to go ahead, and has Ottawa now just, begun the path to the first ever relocation in the PHL. I don't want to say that, I don't want to say that, but when we all hear that all options are on the table, you have to then start wondering, oh my god, is this literally now the beginning of the end? Yeah. Because the PHL has said that they're disappointed with this, and all options are pretty much on the table, but they are still committed to being in Ottawa. Yeah. And we do have to have some time, though, to get this on. I mean, it's not completely done deal yet, but there is still time between now and next. Well, say it's going to be done by 2028, so there's at least, after this year, there's at least 2 more seasons before we start panicking on behalf of the Ottawa Charge. But just think, oh my god, we have known for the last few weeks now that this proposal is unterrible. It's unviable. How do you expect a women's hockey team that is drawing 7,000, 8,000 on a regular basis, how do you expect that team to grow in an arena that's only going to seat 5,500? And you know it's 5,500. Don't come to me and say, oh, we're going to get 6,000 in. No, you could only get 5,500. I don't give a fuck about the 1,000 standing. No, it's only 5,500. The Charge very rarely draw less than that. They're very rare. I think it was only 3 times last season that they drew less than the proposed capacity for this new building. Madness! It's all madness. It's all madness. And can I just say something? Please go and check out Jocks and Jills, because Tessa, on a recent one, when they did it up down there, she just went brilliantly. And I think one of my favourite lines she did say was, I hope if you've got children and other daughters. Yeah. Yeah, because, the vote was very close. It was actually 15-10 in favour, which was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, because I did fear this proposal was going to go through, and it's going to be just, sends a bad signal to the world that Ottawa doesn't really care about women's sports. And yet, and some of them were women, so much for sisterhood, so much for sisterhood, that goes out the window, that's now dead. Sisterhood's dead in Ottawa. I mean, seriously, you've got women on this council voting for a project that is gonna that is literally just gonna decrease the value of women's sports in Ottawa. Well, like Tessa said on Drop Shores, I hope you've not got daughters, because if you have, you've just told them you're not worth it. You've just told them you're not worth it. If you want to be something, you can't do it. You've just told them that. You've just sent them that message. I hope you are proud of yourselves, you pathetic scumbags. So you better, so those you've got children, you better not have daughters, because you've just told them, you've just said a massive FU to them. So, hope you are all proud of yourselves for that. And also, the mayor himself can fuck off when he told, what's his post doing on my timeline? It did not. It did. his post when it'll be on my time, like, oh, it's really great, it'll be like, fuck off, you. Oh! Oh! Did you just, oh! Oh, he coughs by the C word. Oh my god! He just, oh my god, you just coughed the C word. I don't care. I don't care. Fuck off, you. Oh, he's doing it again. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Oh. Fuck off. You two-faced. Seriously, fuck off. Okay? Don't try and paint yourself as a good guy here. You're the one who blindsided the Professional Women's Hockey League. You're the one that gaslit the Professional Women's Hockey League. Fuck off. Fuck off. I saw the fact that you want TSN trying to say nice per time. Fuck off. You don't want us here. You don't want us in your city. Despite the fact that the Charge have grown quite a fan base, and just recently was the first Canadian team to reach the World Cup finals. So, you can fuck off! You're two-facers, you massive... Can you stop coughing the C word? Well, I can't say it! So I swear I can cough. You know how people say that you have to cough swear? I can only do the C word. So, try out your favourite one. No, it doesn't work. Saying it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can only do the C word. I can only cough the C word. It's like, seriously, fuck off! When's he up for re-election? Somebody needs to primary him! Somebody needs to primary Mark Sutcliffe, because I'm sorry, he is one great, massive, two-faced... Just fuck off! Fuck off! With that. Alright, so, he's probably cracked open the wine cellar. Yeah, he's probably got rat arse in jubilation right now, but just, oh my fucking god! Here we go. Oh my fucking... Are you serious? Are you actually joking with this? Oh my fucking god. I mean, it's just... How many times we need to say it? Landsdowne 2.0 does not work. It does not work. You cannot expect a women's hockey team to, to play in that arena with only 5,500 people. It does not work. And this arena, if the PH was to stay there, this will be the smallest one in the whole league. Right now it's Boston, who because Solar Centre can only fit about 6,000 people, but they packed that on a regular night, on a regular basis. Yeah, it's very rare for the Boston Fleet not to sell out. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is how, because we all are complaining about how Solar Centre is not viable because it's outside of the actually being Boston. It's in Lowell, mm-hmm. But yet, and it's tricky to get to. But yet the Fleet still pack it out 99, which is actually quite impressive. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which I bet the city officials are going to try and use. Well, that's to use one. It's right in Boston. And again, it's different factors. Different city, different factors. Yeah. Playing into account here. It's just... It's like... And also, why are we going to give... Because let's say, this arena is basically to benefit the Ottawa 67s. But, I'm going to come out and say it, and I don't care if they don't like it. The Ottawa 67s do not deserve to have a brand new spanking shiny arena for them. Because they don't bring out the fans. We know, from this project, we know that the 67s, on average, draw in 3,000 people. Right now, that is literally nothing. That's nothing. That's poor attendance right now. So why does a men's hockey team, who's only drawing in 3,000 people, deserve a brand new spanky 5,500 try-seater arena when you have a women's hockey team in that same building right now that is drawing 7,000, 8,000 on a more regular basis? Who deserves a new arena more? And this is like, this is what is really aggravating me, how we are now on the brink of 2026 and the women are still in this sport being overlooked by the men. It's still... This is really infuriating me now. How in hockey, it is still the men get the priority over the women. Yeah, at the end of the day, we all know that women are better hockey players than the men. You're really going to... I'm absolutely pissed off here. I'm absolutely pissed off. Alright? As an advocate of both the PHL and women's hockey in general, I'm absolutely pissed off here that we are still, alright, we are almost at the 30th anniversary of the women's program being the Olympics, okay? That's in less than 3 years' time. And we are still not getting the attention that we, and consideration that we have earned. Alright? It took a quarter of a century from 1998 to 2023 to get a pro women's league, and now it's here. We should all be working hard to make sure that we can make this stay and viable in the long run. And it's just like, it's making my blood boil when you have cities like Ottawa that are basically saying, well, no, we don't want you here. You're not worthy being in our city. Because that's what this vote does. Landsdowne being approved signals that Ottawa does not want women's hockey in their city. That is why it's been signalled to me. That is why it's been signalled to me. Even though we know, from the fans' perspective, Ottawa does care, but unfortunately, city officials... This is why we can't have nice things! Because the politicians just ruin it. This is why we can't have nice things. But we know that Ottawa is has got an outstanding fan base, but as we all know, that alone isn't really good enough, because, well, they're based on relocation in men's sports. And I just do not want to go there. Take them over. I'm just absolutely, just like, blood boiling. I'm absolutely... It's how to what yourselves up on a cold night, kids. Just get angry. But I am! We know you are. I am! I'm absolutely furious by this. And I knew this was going to get approved. I knew it was going to get approved. Especially based on that tells me that we watch. And can I say, Jada Hefford and Amy Shear need to be given their flowers. Because the fact that they bravely went to that meeting, represented the PHL, and just got literally barreled by gaslighting and abuse and some sexism was just like, oh my god. If that was me, I would have to take, would have to take 6 weeks off sick pay. I really would. If that was me, I would have to take 6 weeks off for sick pay because my mental health is in wreck. That's what I would have to do. Hats off to those two women because they did absolutely well. And we watched that. I did an episode doing highlighting my thoughts on that. Go check it out. And they just took it and yet... Well, it kind of was a bit of a wasted journey because the PHL didn't get a seat on the table. I know. That's all we asked. That is all we asked in that meeting was to get a seat at the table and we did not get it. And I think OSDG should be ashamed of themselves because they basically abused us. They basically abused us. We've been taking advantage here, guys. Yeah, we have been... Literally, OSDG have taken us for advantage because they basically said, oh, give us your support, we'll then come now and we'll talk about your needs afterwards. They didn't do that! They didn't do that! They did not do that. And the PHR negotiated in good faith. Because they're the new kids of the block. They didn't want to see as bad guys. Yeah, they got paid that way. Yeah. So it's like, how dare you? How bloody dare you use us to get a stupid project approved? How dare you? And just, because obviously I stayed up with you to watch that meeting. I was surprised that neither of us turned it off because we could tell the questioning was getting completely just to the point where, oh, for God, you're just taking the piss. And at one point, it was basically school, it basically felt like recess in the school playground. Where it's like, I know it's hard, they're Homer's 23rd, remember right? It's like, no, it's the 22nd. I'm like, oh, for God. Yeah, it did get to primary school playground antics at one point, so I'm surprised none of us turned off. I'm surprised you didn't throw your phone across something across the room in anger, because it was getting... I literally was getting blood boiling. I think it's like, oh God, any minute now, I'm literally going to get to the point where I'm like, no, I cannot do that anymore. No. That is one of the most disgusting pieces of council meetings I've seen in my life. What? And yet we had Hanforth. Oh, that's what we needed! That's what we needed! We needed Jackie Weaver there. We needed Jackie Weaver there. You have no authority, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them. Here comes the Peter. Jackie Weaver, I find the person on Amber's laptop being disrespectful. Okay, Peter Buckingham, that's great. If you want to watch the Hanforth Parish Council meeting from 2020, you can go and find it on YouTube. And guess what, folks? There's actually 2 meetings. There's actually 2. Yeah, because there was a meeting beforehand. The meeting that everyone keeps quoting from, the no authority, that's from the second meeting. There's a meeting beforehand, and it's just as bad. The atmosphere, it's just as bad as that one. So yeah, there's 2. Go and watch them. It's quite brilliant. And wasn't there a follow-up one? Was there? I don't know about the 2 that actually happened at the time, but yeah. But just. That's what we needed. She would have put sort of them out. Oh my god! I can just feel the blood boiling. I can really, because I'm like, this is personal to me because I have been in the Chargers situation with the Oakland A's back in, and I know how tough of an ordeal this is, and I know how much it affects, and I know the effects of it hanging over your head, and it's not good. It then does mess with you because as a sportsman, you're there for your team, the sport that you've invested in. You do not want to then have to deal with all the backroom drama from the business side of it, and it does hang over your head. And the whole Hannah Turner saga, it literally got to the point where I was literally losing the will to carry on. My love for the game that I've grown up with since a young kid was slowly slipping away, step by step by step, because of these, because they were. And now, yes, I can say I've now managed to, get past that. I've now got the Oakland Ballers. I don't need Major League Baseball anymore. But the scars are there. The scars will still linger. And so I've been where the Ottawa Charge are now at, and it's not nice. It's not, and and for the Charge, it's 10 times worse because the Charge aren't actually the tenants of this building. They're not tenants of TD Place. They basically are. Are renters. I did not want to say lodgers. Because obviously, as we know, all but the Golden Eyes are not tenants, primary tenants of their respective buildings. So we have to work around the other tenants, especially the primary ones, schedules, and that's why it's so hard to get the schedules. We would love the schedules to be released early, wouldn't we? Absolutely. The summertime would be the best time to release the PHR schedule, but we just know because of logistics, it doesn't work. Well, NHL schedules normally get released about, say, July. So you'd think maybe August you could then do the PHR one, but then again, of course, there are NHL schedules come out roughly. Yeah, NHL schedules come roughly, and then maybe a week or 2 after the NHL. Although for this season the NHL went first, and then the NHL did, which was a bit surprising. I think the Women's Hockey Report did also mention that as well. Yeah, but because they both present NHL shows as well. Yeah. For the Kraken and Flyers. Yeah. So, but no. Yeah. We'd love the schedules to come out earlier, but also it would help people, and also bringing the schedules out earlier would help people just to plan, because some people do like to try and plan travelling. Yeah. So, especially you want to try and do like the beginning of the season. It's not really easy because you literally have to be like literally on lastminute.com. Yeah. So, Yeah, that's why I kind of feel like if whenever we get to go out to PHL, it probably will be towards the end of the season because the early part is just not doable because the schedules came out too late. Yeah. I mean, schedules came out this year was like a month before the Rivalry Series began. Yeah. Yes, I think it was the first week of October. So it's like a month before the Rivalry Series began. Yeah, no. Yeah, so this kind of feels personal to me because because the aggro I went through in Oakland is still raw, and I do not want Ottawa Charge fans to have to go through what I went through because it's not nice. No, it really is not nice, and it's horrible. Okay. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. And somebody clip this next segment. Just clip it. If there's one sports league that I do not want to ever see a relocation happen, it's the Professional Ice Hockey League. Yeah, that's the one league that I do not want to see this happen. It's because I just know what the Vultures are going to say. I can just tell that the Vultures, the Trolls, the keyboard warriors, the haters, the misogynists, I just know as soon as a relocation gets announced, then very next, within the next hour of that being announced, they will go, oh wait, it didn't work in that city, da 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 da, and then I'll have to immediately go on the defense and say, no, it did work. It did work, but there's other factors that resulted in it not working. It did work. Yeah. It's working in Ottawa. Yeah. So people are trying to use this as an excuse to say, oh, it's not working in Ottawa. No, it is working in Ottawa. Yeah, it is working in Ottawa. They've got a passionate fan base. Okay? They are drawing out huge numbers to TD players on a regular basis. They are outdrawing the men's team who are the primary tenants in that barn. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. Okay? So, do not say to me, and also, let's forget, they were the first Canadian team to go to the World Cup finals and easily could have dethroned us. I know. Obviously, when the banner goes up, we're going to just probably be even more emotional because we know how hard it was to get that one. Yeah. It was a lot more hard to win our second cup than it was our first one. And us three know that cup easily could be going up. That banner, that easily could be going up in the Raptors TV place. They still want to kick the Charge out though. Exactly. But then the newspaper, well, the Charge need to go win a World Cup then. Do you know what? I don't even think that would help. They could easily between now and whenever this is supposed to be completed, was it 28? They could easily between now and 28 win a couple of cups and have some bad go to the Raptors and Mark Sutcliffe and OSCT would still want to kick them out. So, I don't think that would help. But no, but that banner easily could have been at Ottawa's, okay? I mean, Claire Phillips, how impressive was she in those World Cup polls? And rightly so. I know, right? I'm just falling off the chair in amazement of how she did. I know. And she did so amazing in the what is this? I'll say it for us. There's no question she's going to be third MVP. Yeah. I know at the start of Game 4 the panel was suggesting various Frost players, but it was no question. I'm not even asked for about who could be MVP. Well, you don't normally think about that in the playoffs. I mean, as a sportsman, when you watch a playoff series, you're not thinking about the MVP. Now, you're thinking about the main goal, which is to win the World Cup. And yes, when at the top of the broadcast of Game 4, the panel, which did include Alexis Pearson, did start putting out candidates MVPs. And they just listed Frost players, because obviously we had the 2-1 series lead, and we only need to win this game, one more game to get the cup. Yeah. But, yeah, it was no surprise that it was Claire Phillips. When did they get the news about that? Because the whole Charge stayed on the ice. And I felt really touching. So, did they get told beforehand who's going to be MVP? Well, they must do. Because, yeah, it's like, because it was a bit odd. Like, why were all the Charge players still on the ice? Wouldn't you want to? Because I think Boston didn't stay on the ice. No, and it was in their barn. I think they did salute their crowd. Yeah, and then they went off. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they did. They saluted their fans, and then they went off and let us obviously have our celebrations. Yeah. But no, the Charge players, they all stay on the ice. So you've got to think, did they get told beforehand it's going to go to Guelph Phillips? Yeah. They must do. How? Yeah. Because how would they have known to stay on the ice if they, for Guelph Phillips to get the MVP award? Yeah. Well, I'm not. Well, I was about to say, imagine Tessa knows, but what? No. Because she just introduces Billie Jean a lot, of course. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. So, anyway. And of course, me and George did a wonderful episode where we did talk about Guelph Phillips getting her, not just getting her MVP award, but also going to collect her MVP award. Now, did you see Comet Day do that in 2024? I don't think so. You still are not going to let him forget that. I'm willing to bet now, if Canada gets a medal in the men's tournament in Milan next year, and you see Comet Day getting his medal, Lady's still probably going to go, well, you didn't go and collect your Conn Smythe trophy in 2024, did you? No! She's a million! She's a million! She's going on the record! I will. She's going on the record! She's going to go on the record! Yeah. Oh. Fancy your chances now, Canada? You can't say that you might get Mackley on. Oh! Come on! Come on! He could now sneak in. He could do what Sidney Crosby didn't do and get to go to the Olympics at a very young age. Because Crosby was 16 and he didn't go. You mean 19? You just don't de-age Mackley even more when he's already younger than he is. He's 19 right now. Anyway, yeah, so we did do after that. Yeah, so that just shows how that is a perfect example of how women players appreciate the game more than men. Men just take it for granted. Women actually appreciate it, and you know how I've lost the championship. I've still been given this award. I'll go and get it, and then I'll just go back up again. Yep. It takes like, say, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute tops, then you're done. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right, George. Men just don't appreciate it more than women do. Exactly. But we go back to the relocation thing. I just know if a relocation gets announced for anywhere in the PHL, I'm gonna have to really go on the defence, because all these misogynists will just literally go, oh, ha ha, didn't work in that city, and then when we all know it did. It did. Did you watch any of the games in that city, in that market? No, then shut the fuck up. Just go back to your bedrooms and what is he doing there, okay? Literally just go. Just literally shut the fuck up. Okay, so just I don't want to even think about it, but I feel like the Ottawa City Council has literally now put on the table, because all options now have to be put on the table. You know what really pisses me off the most about what Mark remarks was how I said, oh, well, a few years the Charge probably won't be in that place. They'll probably go and be in a bigger arena. How do you know that? I know. How do you fucking know that, you... Oh, that seems to me! You massive hip... You two are going to meet the cost of the C-word. Now, ladies just got to done it. How do you know that, you massive fucking... How do you know that? How do you know? Yeah. How do you know? Yeah, because Mark's looking at how to make some comments suggesting that, oh, well, in a few years' time, the Ottawa Charge might go and be in Canadian Tire Centre. Or we'll go and be with the self-processors. No! No! And I actually have had people come and say to me how the reasons why CTC will not work. They basically say it's pretty much similar to the Boston Fleet, whereas it's too far out from downtown. Yeah, in terms of travel, it's not good. Yeah. Now, but you might actually have no choice but to put Canadian Tire Centre as a proposition. And maybe it might be that the Charge do what the Fleet are doing this season, where you spend a couple of games in a second arena. Yeah, because the Fleet is just splitting their home games between Saga Centre and the Gas Arena, which of course they played two games last season. Mm-hmm. And they did quite well despite not winning either of them. Oh, of course. But were they both against Montreal? I think one of them was. I can't remember who the second one was against. I know at least one of them was Montreal. Yeah. So maybe my good idea is to always do what Boston's doing, and they're split between CTC and then T Place, and then you can... Because if it is adamant that this arena is not going to work, you're going to need to look elsewhere. Now, we've got no idea actually when the Ottawa Senators arena is going to finish. We have heard conflicting reports about on the timeline for this new arena for the Senators. It's either 28 or it's 2030. We're hearing conflicting reports. So, given the situation we now find ourselves in Ottawa, we've not got the time to wait for the Senators. So it might be we're going to have to go to CTC. Because do we honestly think that TD Place would still be standing after this new is done? No. It's interesting how they've not said what the plans are for TD Place when Landsdowne goes on. They've not said that, but you would assume, why would you keep that arena there when you've built literally a brand new one, literally probably the same site? So chances are TD Place will get demolished by the time this project's completed. And then that puts the Charge at a real disadvantage, because like, where do you go then? Where do you go? Yep. So, I know some people say to me, well actually CTC's not really an option. Well, it actually might need to be an option. Yeah. It actually might, because I don't want to run the risk of losing the Charge. Yeah. And, you know, the Fleet have managed it. Okay. And I think we knew more about Songa's problems last year than we did the first season. I can't remember the first season if we had anyone mention about how Songa's too far from actually being boss. I'm not trying to. It was more last year that we got the wind about that, and understood it properly. But at the end of the day, the Fleet are selling out on a regular basis. The Fleet do, despite the fact that Songa's is a problem to get to. The Fleet are, on a regular basis, they are selling out a lot of times. So, I mean, even last season when they had a bad snow, it was going against what was last. They still managed to get a decent crowd. So, yeah. So, if Boston can do it, I can't see a reason why Ottawa can't, because they did in that neutral site game last year against Victoria. They did get 11,000 people, and I think that was on a weekday. I think it was. I think it was on a weekday. So that's actually not too shabby. So you could get a decent crowd at CTC. And I know it's not viable for the long haul, but as a temporary fixture, you could do it. And Right, so yeah, so if the relationship between the PHL and the OSAG is so bad, then I would say, and we know the lease is running out, because that got brought up with the council meeting, what I would say is, look at next season, go to CTC, spend a whole season there, and then stay there until the Overseas building new arena is built, and then strike a deal with the Sens organisation to then be a co-habitant. Like how we share Grand Casino Arena with the Wild, the Sirens share Prudential Centre with the Devils, and the Torrent share Clyde Pedro Arena with the Kraken. I could see that. I could see that as the path forward. I could see that as the Chargers' future. Because I think the Chargers fan base proved they could fit an arena like that. They could get a decent crowds like 99 out. But you've got to be willing to make it happen. So let's show some willing. Let's show some willing, please, between now and next. And how long it takes. But honestly, I just feel like I want to literally just blow a fuse because I know what some people are going to be saying right now. I know there's going to be people right now who are going to be saying, hang on, why are you so pissed off? This is not your team. Okay, you're a Minnesota Frost supporter. Why should you be blowing a gasket? Why should you be bursting a blood vessel? Oh! Did you have to go gruesome? I'm gonna say it. Did you have to go gruesome, Hollis? We're coming towards the end here of the show. You had to go gruesome? Well, it'd be nice if rather when there says George coughed the C word. But he's a fucking two-faced. He is one. Mark Douglas is a massive two-faced fucking. Alright? Anyway, that's the point. I know it's going to be saying, why are you getting so pissed off? You don't support them. I know. Yes, I'm a Minnesota Frost fan. But I'm also an advocate to the Professional Women's Hockey League. That means it's my job to keep track of anything and everything going on elsewhere in the league. It is also my job to grow the awareness of the PHL. And you've now got a 3-step plan. Awareness, education, engagement. Awareness, make people aware of who we are. Education, educate people on what we've done so far and where we're going. Engagement is getting people actually involved with the league, and that's obviously by watching games. Because there's no excuse not to watch at least one PHL game. So as an advocate, it is my job to not only help grow the league, but to keep an eye on what's going on across the entire league. Okay? And the way I see it when it comes to the PHL, the tackle one is the tackle all. And I know it's an old saying, which I don't really know believe. But on this occasion, when it comes to PHL, you attack one of us, you attack all of us. Because right now, this situation is only going to affect the Charge. But that doesn't mean to say it will not affect the rest of the league. Because what happens if the worst case scenario happens? Exactly. You've then got to disperse these players across elsewhere. And the assets that go with it. So and then we've all got to use the new markets. It's not worth it. It's not going to happen. No. So those of you thinking that, say your breath. Those of you who are thinking, why is he getting all worked up? He's a Minnesota Frost fan. Say your breath. Okay? Don't even try. Okay? I am a day one advocate and supporter of this league. It is my job to not only grow the league, but it's also my job to keep an eye on what's going on across the entire league. Okay? So And this could have literally happened to any one of us because we're not. And this is the problem with not being primary tenants of our own buildings. Golden Eye Spanish, you don't need to worry about this. I know, right? Because relationships can break down at any time, and then it just then gets really messy. But unfortunately, we can't build 10,000 seaters across the whole just for women's hockey. And I'd love to. I would love somebody whatever city they like in North America. I'd love somebody to literally build an arena for a women's hockey team. Because I'd love to see how that would go about. Obviously, but Amy mentioned it tells me how most arenas they are just right for men, but they're too big for women. And on this, and then in Landsdowne we have an arena that's just right for men, but too small for women. So I'd love somebody to just build an arena for women's hockey and see what the blueprint of that, what the model of that would look like. So Vancouver Golden Eyes fans, I hope you realise how lucky you are that your team is a primary tenant of the Physical Sim. I believe it's the only tenant of the Physical Sim. Yes. If you see in the centre ice, I knew you'd get a draw that. I knew you'd get a draw of that. Because you're the one that's got the MB about that. Me and I get fine with it. Yeah. But I know you are drooling. You are seriously drooling over that. But yeah. So, tackle one, tackle all. And if this could happen to the chart, it could happen to any one of us. Yeah. And I think, because we basically have to just watch our backs right now. Yeah. Because the league's pretty much in the growing phase. At the same time, we have to watch our backs because we are so vulnerable to literally anything and everything. And this kind of feels like a sneak attack because why are we only knowing about this project now? Why were we not made aware of this at the very beginning? Well, we should have been made aware of it the first time the PHR made contact with the mayor's office. And that was what? Just during it was April 2024. So during the final few weeks of the first regular season. That's when we should have known that this was going up. Why is it now? Why was it a month before year 3 starts that we now find out about this? Yep, that's right. Yeah. Because it's so hard to fathom that we are in year 3 and we've already got one of our teams in an arena situation, in an arena dilemma, and now I'm about to fall off again. And I was like, Sid, in this bit, and I was like, how does that happen? And all teams, it happens to one of the most raucous, passionate, die-hard fan bases in the PHL. How's that been allowed to happen? How is that generally been allowed to happen? How has that literally genuinely been allowed to happen? I can't comprehend that. I don't even know. How's that been allowed? I need a second here, guys. How's that genuinely been allowed? Hold on for us, we're going to top this up. How's that been allowed? Just gonna get some more water. I'm back in. How is that though? How has that just literally been allowed to happen? I mean, because that is right. How is it that we are now only hearing about this in year 3? Literally as we're on the doorsteps of year 3. How has it taken that long for it to be made in the public domain? Well, the PHR did say they didn't want to talk about the press. That's fine, but you know, Howard Terminal was made public every step of the way. Every time the council took a session up on it in Oakland, we were told every step of the way. And if this proposal was put forward by the mayor, then why didn't he just then make it public to begin with? And then just go, oh, this is our big plan, and because he probably. It's like, you're right, Eddie. We should have known about this from the very beginning. You know, and the fact that the lease is up this year. You're going to charge fans going to this season, worrying if they're going to have a team there next year or not. Oh, that's just not right. That is not right. Someone needs to fix this. Somebody needs to fix this, because this is not viable. This is not how you run sports. So, but do you genuinely believe Ottawa has now basically told us to shut up and put up? Because the way Mark Zucker has phrased this is, it's this project or it's nothing. I don't know about shut up and put up. For me, what this boat signals is that city officials do not see the value of women's hockey. That, for me, sends the signal that Ottawa's officials don't care. Don't care. They don't care. And the Charge could have won the World Cup this year, and we still would probably be in the exact same position. Which would still be the exact same position. Because they don't care. The city officials, they don't care. Politicians, no matter what cult they are in, whichever country it is, they don't care about their constituents. They only care about themselves and making sure their coffers are full. Oh no, budget's nearly here. We've got to watch that bitch in her lovely free frocks. Raise our taxes! Raise our taxes! Yep. Well, the very rare times of the year you're allowed to get away with actually booing, hissing, heckling, and swearing at you at the Chancellor. Yeah. So she has to take it. Yeah. She has to take it. Yeah. We have to take the what's in this shit budget. So you have to take us all heckling. Yeah. It's always a long day, that is, in the House of Commons, because you just know all MPs just go to as well, just hell abuse. It's a hard job for the speaker that day. Or no, actually no, I think it's a Well, no, I think the deputy. No, I think the speaker listens to the whole to the budget, and then after that, the deputy then comes in, because you then get the shadow chancellor. Oh yes, yeah. Yeah. Well, no, is it? No, I think it is the deputy speaking the whole way through. Alright. Do we still? Yeah, I think it is. Let's not go there, but no. But yeah. City officials Ottawa basically now with this vote have basically said we do not give a flying fuck about women's hockey, and that to me is alarm bells. Yeah. That to me sends alarm bells, especially as we know there are markets that are very, very keen to get this done. Yeah. There actually are markets who are keen to have women's hockey, and oh look, there's one just sort of over the border in Quebec. Yeah, because Quebec are really pushing hard. I'm so surprised Quebec's only got one takeaway tour going. Yeah, but who else would you put in there? I don't know, does it matter? Well, obviously the Victoria going to sell out that place out. It doesn't care. They're passionate about it. They'll go and see whoever. Exactly. Have you not learnt by now, boy, that women's sports fans will literally go anywhere and everywhere and they'll see whoever it is? Have you not learned that by now? No, but I'm so surprised Quebec has only got one Take Tour game and not two. Because Quebec really is pushing hard. They are. They're in the space of a year, and I think this is the beauty of having the Take Tour, because it gives the opportunity for some markets that you're not sure about. It allows the opportunity to basically try and change your minds. And Quebec's done that. And Quebec's done that. I've been saying for a few years that every time somebody keeps mentioning getting Quebec by I keep going, no. Just no. Every time somebody mentions trying to get NHL back to Quebec, I'm like, no. But for the PHL, I'm kind of open to it. I'm kind of open to it. So Quebec's mind to change my mind about whether or not they should be given a chance to have an expansion team. And yeah, I can't believe they're not getting one. But Quebec's an option, and there's plenty of other markets, particularly markets who haven't had a Take Tour yet, who would like to get in on the action, who would like to get in on the action and have a go. So basically, what I'd say to cities who are trying to get a PHL team, think very carefully about whether or not you do it, because if you want to do it, then you have to be 100% fully committed and actually show interest. If you're not, then bye-bye. Bye-bye. There's the door. Don't worry. If you're not going to be all in, then bye-bye. There's the door. I'll happily slam at your faces on the way out. So I don't think it's basically shut up and put up. I think it's more there's the door, shut it on your way out. So this. Why are we having to go through this? It's just like, this league is so young still. It is literally in the growing phases. The last thing it needs is this. It's just, and the blame has to go to Ottawa City Council. It has to go. The buck stops at the mayor. It has to stop there. The book has to stop there. The PHL is not to blame. I know the Mets done a great job at trying to paint us the bad guys. We're not to blame. We have done everything that we possibly can to make Ottawa work. So we're all to blame. Not to blame here. Because this arena is going to lose us money. If we were to actually go in that arena, we would be losing dollars after dollars after dollars. So, because this is a huge loss of revenue there. You cannot seriously say to me in a few years' time, we're gonna cut your capacity down by 3,000 and basically cut your fan base down by 3,000. You cannot say to me we're gonna do that and it will work. You cannot. He's going back to be aggressive again. You cannot say that to me with a straight face. So I can tell you now, it will not work. I can tell you now, that will not work. That will not stand in court. I can tell you now, that will not work. You cannot say to me with a straight face, in a few years' time, we're going to cut down your fan base from 8,000 to 5,000 and that will work. You cannot say that to me with a straight face. You cannot. Because it will not work. Especially for Ottawa. It will not work. It will not. So, to those of you watching Ottawa, here's what I want you to do. Get loud. Fight the good fight. Okay? Because you guys know that your elected officials, they're not going to do anything for you. David Cameron would like to see you lose your team. We don't want that. So, if you're in Ottawa, write to your city official. Not just once, not just twice, but as many times as you possibly can. Flood your no-good mayor's office with your as well. Not just once, not just twice, but as many times as possible. Okay? Because these city officials need to hear from the fans. And need to understand what this is going to do to them if this project is going to be officially built. Because, yes, it's been approved, but as my ex-MLB team is learning, there's a difference between getting your plans approved and getting the shovels in the ground. So, yeah, so just keep flooding city official office with your dismay, disgruntled, and absolute grievance, because do not take this line down, or else I'm going to say, do not take this line down, because we all know what a success the Charge has done for Ottawa. And honestly, Ottawa's not really had it good with sports, has it? No. So the Charge are finally putting Ottawa on the map. And do you honestly want to be taken off that map quickly as you put on it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Without the Charge, what Ottawa got good in terms of sports teams? Because the Senators are nowhere near close to winning a Stanley Cup. No. So, yep. 67s. When did they last win something? So, well, they can't even draw. They can't even draw 5,000 people. No, just. And that's really what is really pissing me off. How this project is pleasing the men. Well, I'm thinking, should I not? Alright. Were you gonna try? Were you gonna try and refer to me there? Yeah. I thought better not. I've already done that once before and got stayed for it. Well, you got put in sin bin for it. You crossed the line. Yeah. Tell you what, take me off when we're off air. Yeah. Tell me what you were thinking of saying when we're off the air. But that's what's really pissing me off right now, is how this project is pleasing the men. Well, at the end of the day, we all know that it's the women that are outperforming in that arena. And that's really impressive. We should be celebrating the fact that a women's hockey team is outperforming a men's hockey team in the same building. We should be celebrating that. But city officials, they're like, nah, fuck that. No, we're not happy with that. So what? Ottawa gets paralysed because it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So the Charge gets paralysed because they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is giving women the opportunity to play the sport they love, and also growing the game and the fan base. How's that work, Sutcliffe? How's that work? Try and put that into layman's terms. How's that work? Because the Charge are literally doing what they're supposed to be doing. They are giving women the opportunity to play the game. They are growing the game. They are building a fan base. They are forging a connection with the city. It's like, we're actually doing what we're supposed to be doing, and yet we're getting paralysed with that. Because it's not the 67s who are going to suffer from this. It's not them. For them, they're the cats that got the cream. It's not those going to suffer. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve this in the arena. But it's us, the PHL, and Ottawa Charge, we're the ones who are going to suffer. Because what? 67s can't fill an 8,000 arena. So bro, if the other 67s can't fill an 8,000 arena, What gives people the right to be to go for a 5,000 seater? You cannot, because of readers, it is not sustainable to be drawing half capacity night in, night out. It is not viable. That's what's going to happen. I know, but it's not viable. And it's just, oh my god. It's just, ugh. Right, well I think we need to draw a line on this because we could go on, but us two are a little bit concerned. You are going to burst a blood vessel if we carry on. I'm angry. I know. I'm fucking angry. I'm absolutely just pissed off by this. Okay, because this is not right. This is wrong. This is wrong. They know it's wrong, but they don't care. They don't care. They do not give a flying fuck. They don't care. They don't care. This is pissing me off because the genie has been let out of the bottle, and she's not going back in. Okay, so the PHL is here to stay. Get used to it. Get used to it. We are here to stay. Okay? The genie was let out of the bottle in 2024 and she's not going back in. Okay? So get used to it. We are here to stay. And the fact we have city officials in one of our most proven markets of the markets right now literally just hit the detonator. Hit the nuclear button. Yeah. For what? For a men's team that clearly doesn't deserve to be there in the first place? Now, I know I don't know anything about that league, but I'm sorry. If you've got an 8,000 seat arena and you're only drawing in 3,000 people a regular night, sorry, you don't deserve to be there. That's the size of a team that should be relocated. That is the size. If a team cannot draw at least half the capacity 99 out. Sorry. They should be put on the threat for locations. It's the Ottawa 67s. You don't deserve this. You do not deserve this brand new shiny arena. You do not deserve it. You don't. You don't have the fans. You do not draw the fans out. You don't. You're not bringing the fans out. So you do not deserve having a nice shiny arena. You don't deserve it. You do not. You know you don't. It would be better if they just built a brand new 7,000, 8,000 seater and the Charge get that as their own arena, and then that could be 2 teams who are prioritised we don't have to worry about. Yeah. But oh no, it's not how the world works, because the world only cares about men's sports, it doesn't care about women's sports. It's like sports. We know we're told to basically go and sit in the corner. Well, fuck that, I say. Fuck that. I'll just finish off by saying, as always, we will be keeping a very close eye on this, and we will be back with more updates when we get them. Can't say George won't be volatile about it. Well, I think from now on I am going to be volatile about it because the damn thing's been approved. The damn thing has been approved. Of course, any updates, we will be back. So make sure you subscribe. As always, and we will see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.